Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock by request, where this time it is a review of the movie of George A. Romero's Bruiser, and this request comes into us from fellow YouTuber ROMSreviews. And I gotta tell you guys, in all honesty, this is not exactly one of George A. Romero's best movies. Here's a story. It's a story about a guy named Henry who pretty much most of his life played by the rules. He did everything he was supposed to, never did anything wrong, never cheated, never did anything bad to get ahead. And along the way, all he's gotten on was stepped on, stomped on, kicked around, and everything like that. But he kept taking crap from his girlfriend, his boss, his best friend, pretty much everybody around him. Well, one day he goes to a party where his boss is supposed to be at. It's supposed to be a barbecue, and he noticed that his boss is sitting on his girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure which one she's supposed to be. She's a whore, so what does it matter? But after the barbecue, they take off. They have an argument. She tells him about how he's just nothing but crap, and he lets everybody run all over him and everything like that. Well, while they were at this barbecue, he notices that a friend of his, who's also the boss's wife, likes to make plaster mold cast masks for a living, and she paints on them. Okay, which is that one you see right there, one of them. Well, one day, Henry gets up and notices that his face looks just like what you see. And he can't really explain why. You see, earlier in the movie starts off, first off, with Henry getting ready for his day and then apparently blowing his brains out, but that turns out that was just a fantasy. And then there was one point where he's trying to get on a train and a bunch of people get in front of him and he punches some guy and he goes into the train tracks. Yes, that turns out to be a fantasy too. And then when him and his old lady are arguing about how pathetic he is, and she drives up into the garage and he grabs an axe and hits her in the head with it while she's driving up there, yes, a fantasy. So when he has this mask on his face, he notices his maid is pretty much stealing from him. So he clocks her a good one in the side of the head, and he thinks, just another fantasy, but he realizes it's 100% real. And Henry decides it's time to stop taking crap and start giving it back. So he goes around and gets back at people who pretty much did wrong to him. And the first one he gets back is his old lady, when he finds out his old lady and his boss have been having an affair. So he winds up pushing her out this, 4 or 5 story window, and winds up wrapping some sort of a cable around her neck and hanging her from the window, killing her. Well, Henry goes on a continuous killing spree, again, getting back at his old best friend, and finally, by the end of the movie, he gets his boss with this sort of laser thing that's supposed to have the heat of 2 suns, or something like that. Well, Henry's in pursuit by the police, but do they catch him? No. By the end of the movie, the boss's wife winds up trying to take the fall for him, but it doesn't work out, and Henry disappears. And by the end of the movie, Henry's hair is really long. He's wearing a tie-dyed peace symbol shirt and working in the mailroom for a different company, where his boss starts giving him crap, pretty much giving the same speech that his previous boss did about having no huevos and all this. His boss tells him, come back. And Henry says, coming, sir, turns around, he's wearing the mask again. See, originally for this review, I wanted to have the Misfits song Bruiser on here, but you know what? I can't do that to the Misfits. I'm too big of a fan of those guys. So, there you go. George A. Romero's Bruiser. Meet the new face of terror. Right, please. This movie was terrible all the way around. It was really, really bad. I think George A. Romero should stick to zombie movies. What do you guys think? If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any horror movies you want me to review, horror, comedy, sci-fi, or fantasy horror, let me know and I'll get on it as soon as I can. Until next time, for Doc Schlock by request, special thanks to ROMSreviews for this one. Stay strong and rock on.